All right, good evening. Appreciate you guys waiting up. Thought the game went early on, started taking control of the game. Not a ton of explosive plays, but methodically drove the ball down the field. Defense played relatively well, gave us some yards in the middle early, but tightened up, and it wasn't until the last two drives where they held them under 100 yards. But overall, a lot of guys played. Felt we got ahead enough in the first half to play a lot of guys on defense in the first half, and then had one series with Emory Williams at quarterback with the one offensive line and some of the one wide receivers and tight ends before scoring and then pulling those guys and playing most of the twos and the threes on offense. Defense, we probably played with more guys than we did on offense, but overall, some improvement in some areas, and then you see the drop off with some of the twos and threes and some of the areas where we got to keep getting better to depend on guys or show that we can depend on guys to play and not have a drop off in our performance. Okay, so questions, please.
Coach Emory came in that second half and looked real comfortable. Just what were your thoughts on his performance?
I think he looked really good when he had the supporting cast, the most of the ones and some of the twos. He understands the offense really well. When he was protected well, he seemed to operate at a relatively high level and did a good job. And then as the game went on a little bit, we were a little bit sloppy. Some free hitters in there, gave up a sack, really should have been a second one, right? And then didn't look as sharp as an offense. And that's the part that's the letdown. That's what you don't want to see. You want to see your team get better, even when you put in some of the other guys. But overall, solid day by Emory.
Coach, you have defensive line and starters out. How did you feel the depth performance did tonight?
At times really good. You'd like to have those guys back as often, as soon as you can, but overall, a lot of guys stepped up and played. We probably played 10 or 11 guys, and they're going to need to play, right? As the season goes on, more and more guys get banged up. I thought overall, up until, again, the last two drives where we started giving up some yards. I think we had given up 160 yards. Up until the last drive, there was only about 60 or so. So that part was disappointing. We didn't close out the game like we wanted to.
How glad were you that, you guys come out firing, scored on, I think, all but one drive in the first half and kind of didn't show any sluggishness or kind of like slow or anything in the first half?
Well, Tyler, TVD, he operated at a very high level, and so did the receivers. Xavier, again, another great day. Jacoby George played well. I know Kobe Young is kicking himself a little bit, but he played hard. Some wasn't his best performance, but he provided a lot of value, did some good things. All the running backs ran really hard. And the first team offensive line, the tight ends, they blocked really well. Thought they took control of the game early. Gave us a lot of time to throw the ball and opened up some big holes. And when it was muddy yards, they pushed the pile, so it gave us some really good down and distance situations. So what else? Just played a lot of guys. A lot of guys played, so I guess I'll answer those questions as they come.
How much do you like the balance of where you're at right now? The offense is doing a lot of good things, the defense is doing a lot of good things, but when you look at film, there's still a lot of things that can be corrected. How much do you like that? You're seeing growth, but you can also see where the next wave of growth has to be.
Yeah, no doubt. I like the way we're evolving. You see our offense, we've been a little bit different each week. And the more that we can show the ability to run the ball inside and outside, to push the ball down the field, but also stretch it horizontally, it's hard to defend, and the way the quarterback is playing, Tyler's playing at such a high level that makes it difficult, right? He knows where to go with the ball. He knows, where your troubles are, right? That if this trouble's coming, you don't have any way to pick it up, that this is your outlet. If this is your alert and so fell off and you got a chance for a chunk play, you can take it. And I think that's happening a lot now because your release time is getting shorter and shorter. And then defensively, a lot of guys got better. I thought our back end is playing really, really well, playing at a high level. They communicate really well. And without Cam today, so regardless of always whoever you play, when you're down a starter, especially one of that magnitude that communicates the way he does, lines us up like he does, I thought those guys did really well. Credit to Jaden Harris, really, really good job by him, man, in his first start.
Xavier, obviously injuries really derailed him last year.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff he's doing this year, stuff you think he maybe could have done last year, has he taken just even another step?
Different system, different system. Certainly he was a guy that when he went down, it was, that was a rough one because has a lot of value in so many different ways as a person, as a leader, as a teammate. You saw what he does down the field in terms of finding space in terms of making the tough contested catch, yards after a catch, physical, blocking. Yep, it's kind of important. So, yep, he's playing at a really high level, and he's a valued member of the team, a valued member of Leadership Council. So, another great game by him.
Hey Mario, we can't talk specifics, but recruiting locally is starting to really explode. You've gotten some big commitments in the last week or so. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's like talk a little bit about it, but can't talk about it. Miami's working its way to looking like what Miami should look like, and I think what you're seeing in terms of recruiting, monstrous as it applies to anything that's legal and compliant. Right, that's a legal statement. So, and that being said, get to grab one of those PB&Js and hit the road and be at the first school tomorrow morning bright and early and keep it going.
Hey, Mario, when you took out Tyler, is that when you sensed that you were probably going to take him out at that time during early in the third quarter to make that change over to Emory?
We just felt we had control of the game. I mean, we took him out at halftime. We felt if we could get the ball back right before the end of the half and drive and score, because that's now, I believe all 3 games we've had. The middle 8 has been really good for us. We've scored, we've stopped, we've gotten the ball back in the second half and scored. So once he did that, felt we had control of the game, was going to leave the rest of I call it the supporting cast, the rest of the guys in there so that Emory could operate with him, and he did a good job.
Mario, is there?
Mario, first, you have your first away game coming up. What kind of wrinkles does that present? What kind of changes?
Well, it shouldn't present any changes in terms of process. We did talk about it. I mean, we closed out the month of September 3-0 here at home, which is really important to us. This is the last time we play at Hard Rock for, I think, 3 weeks or so. And it was a big off-season point. We were going to make Hard Rock our place. We're going to make it a tough place for people to come in and play. And we're off to a good start there. Now taking this thing on the road, our processes really don't change. Albeit a 2.5-hour plane ride. That's it. So our guys are going to be really excited to get on the road. They are. We play a really good team. We have a couple of extra days. We're already all over them. We've broken down all our opponents in the offseason, but it gives us a chance to now go and see where we're at by getting on the road.
Mario, what's the direction to the punt returners as far as where they should let the ball go over their head into the end zone? Is that a discussion you have with them?
No, we just say do whatever you want, Yeah, we established a heel line for them, and obviously we haven't done a very good job, following through on that. So we got to do a better job.
Last question.
Yes, but we certainly give them guidelines, man. Come on, bro. You've been around football a long time. You got to be. Go ahead.
Noticed in the first half, kind of swapping Javion and Matthew McCoy in and out. What was that all about?
Progress, developing guys. When you develop an offensive lineman, you'll see a massive difference when he goes and he works with a veteran group and they all communicate, as opposed when you surround them with guys that are rookies and don't have a lot of experience. And Matthew McCoy has an unbelievable future here at the University of Miami, and it was time to get his feet wet there with the big boys. He did a good job.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate you.